Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing really well. I had some questions yesterday about denture care. So I kind of wanted to show you guys what I do to clean my dentures. I had to kind of figure it out in the beginning. My dentist didn't really give me a lot of information about denture care and what I needed to do, so I had to do a lot of research. The support groups that I'm in were super duper helpful. So I sleep in my dentures, so I don't really let them soak overnight. So in the morning when I get up, I take them out and I brush them first. So I get my little soft bristle toothbrush. I found that denture brushes are too harsh. They're really super scratchy, so I don't like to use them. But this is just a soft bristle toothbrush. It's very, very, very gentle. I also have a little tiny baby toothbrush that's super soft and gentle, and it's really good for getting into the trough of your dentures. So I really like this toothpaste. It's a non-abrasive gel. A lot of people use dish soap, like a antibacterial Dawn dish soap to soak them in, but I will just scrub them up like I'm brushing my regular teeth, make sure that they're good and brushed, and then I'll put them in the denture bath, which is this guy. Hello. I think I got it at Rite Aid and it was $1, so it's pretty awesome. So I will put it in the denture bath with warm tap water. Don't go too hot. You don't want to put, scalding hot water in there and then plop your dentures in. But I use this, the overnight whitening, and I don't leave it in there overnight, but I'll leave it in there for a good 20 or 30 minutes just so that it really does its job. I also have a 3-minute one that I will use. For Russell Klein, it's recommended that you just use half a tab. So a box of these will last a really long time, and it does what it's supposed to do. So I do that every day. When they're done soaking, I take them out and I scrub them up. I scrub anything on there, any sort of plaque or whatever that I didn't get the first time. And so with the soak, it gets in there, breaks everything up, and I will scrub it off under warm tap water. And then I dump the stuff that was in here out, and I just put a splash of this in there. And it just freshens up the liner and everything that's in my dentures, so it tastes like mouthwash. Everything's good. While it's soaking, I brush my gums. I make sure that they're good to go. I put a little toothpaste on, I brush up my gums, clean my mouth, and then I rinse with the mouthwash. So after they're done soaking in the mouthwash, I then rinse them off a little bit and I just put them in my mouth, and that's it. If you use cream type adhesives or whatever, at that point you would dry them off. When I do dry them off, I used a flour sack towel. These are awesome because they don't leave any lint behind. So they dry them really well, and they don't leave any lint behind. They're not scratchy, they're not abrasive, they're very, very soft. They're really, really good for setting your dentures on the counter, or laying in the bottom of your sink, things like that. They're really, really great with your dentures. You can buy a 3-pack of them at almost any big box store or whatever, I don't know, Fred Meyer, Walmart or whatever, I don't know. All I know is you can buy them online, Amazon. So these flour sack towels are really, really great because they're really good at drying your dentures. They're excellent at protecting your dentures, and they don't leave any lint behind. So once you're done drying them, you can put them right on your towel and then start doing your adhesive routine, whatever that is. For me, I have different types. I have comfort lining in the top. Right now I have the denture fit in the bottom, and I use the powder. So I use a little spray bottle to get it wet, to get the powder to adhere, if I'm using that. But I only really use that when I know that I'm going to eat something that might make them shift. So I always make sure that I brush my dentures at least twice a day, before I soak them, after I soak them. Twice a week, I use Stain Away. And it's kind of the same thing. I will do it as an extra step and just let them sit in there for 20 or 30 minutes just to make sure that everything's good, because I am a coffee drinker and I don't want that discoloring my dentures. So you just want to make sure that you don't use abrasive toothpaste on your dentures. You want to make sure the brush you're using isn't abrasive, that it's actually like a soft bristle brush. Some of those denture brushes, man, they're like a wire brush, so just be careful. The little brush on the end kind of looks like it would be good for clearing out the trough, and I understand what it's for and why they have it, but it's just super, super tough. So I would rather use my little baby soft bristle brushes right here to make sure that everything is good. Now, when I brush my gums, I have a toothbrush that's for gums, and it stimulates gum health. So now is like the most important time to start taking care of your gums in a really good, healthy way. So the Colgate Total Gum Health is what I use for my mouthwash. It's great. It's awesome. If you just had your extractions or alveoplasty or something like that, water it down. Just put, you know, a tiny bit in there and fill the rest of the cap up with water, and it's fantastic. But I usually swish with that stuff 4 or 5 times a day. I just, you know, if I've eaten and I just don't want to go through the hassle of taking everything out, brushing them, soaking them, all that stuff, I'll get my toothpaste or my mouthwash, you know, and just use my toothbrush in there like I'm brushing my natural teeth, just to make sure. Because every time you eat, you really need to rinse your dentures out. If you can't rinse your dentures out, try to at least do a little swig, keep a little tiny travel one in your purse or your whatever, your car, glove box, whatever. Just, it's really good to rinse out your dentures so that there's no food stuck in there. So you want to make sure not to use abrasive cleaners on your dentures. If you have Russell Klein's, he recommends using a half of what the recommended dose is. So if it's tablets, break one in half. If it's stain away, just use 1/4 of a capful. You don't need very much. I have the whitest natural shade that Russell offers, and they're really white on me. Now that goes on your skin tone too. So it just depends on you. But I like to keep my dentures super duper clean and really, really bright. So I make sure to get in the nooks and crannies with the toothbrush. Make sure you get in there like you would be taking care of your normal natural teeth. Scrub them up good. Make sure you get inside the palate, inside the trough. You don't want any bacteria getting in there. That's really important for your mouth. So just make sure not to use like the whitening toothpastes. They always have an abrasive substance in them to kind of scratch your teeth white. So just make sure if you're going to use a toothpaste that you use the one that's for dentures, or you use one that's a gel that has non-abrasive material in it. Just make sure it's gel. The paste usually always has an abrasive agent in it, and you just want to stay away from it. Again, just like Dawn dish soap works really great too to wash your dentures in. Some people don't even use the tablets. They just use a drop of dish soap and let them soak, and then scrub them up afterwards. I was told and I read that you should scrub them before and after the soak so that it loosens up any particles of plaque or anything on there. And then if you soak them, it kind of breaks it away, and then brushing it off afterwards, that was a really good way. You just want your dentures to be clean and dry and, you know, no bacteria when you put them in your mouth. So sometimes I don't go by the dry thing. If I just rinsed them out and everything and I'm just going to put them back in my mouth, I don't dry them off really. I just stick them in there because it helps with the suction, having them wet. So just make sure that you follow the directions that your dentist gave you. Don't use abrasive material on your dentures, and make sure to clean them at least twice a day. Always rinse them, always brush them. Just be careful with them because they are very precious. So these are the products that I really love to clean with, that I use on my gums. And brushing your gums when you're healed up is really great. It stimulates good gum health. It keeps the tissues healthy and happy in there, and it helps promote healing. So it's really, really important to take care of your gums now at this stage of the game. Okay? anyway, have a great day, and I will show you guys how I'm going to switch out my liners today. So be on the lookout for another video about putting comfort lining on the bottom and redoing the top. I'm waiting for a new shipment of my denture fit, so I am going to use comfort lining top and bottom until my denture fit gets here.